Welcome, everybody. This is the Saturday morning college game day show. What's good to everybody? How you guys doing today? This morning, man, we got another week, another recap of college football. We have a couple of games yesterday that we're going. You can't hear me, Chris? You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Martin can't hear. Martin can't hear me for some reason. Check your stuff, Martin. But Chris can hear me. So, uh, again, we got a couple of games that we're gonna recap from yesterday. It was Louisville and NC State play yesterday. Louisville won in a 3-point game, 13-10, and we had a big Pac-12 matchup, which is Oregon State versus Utah. Oregon State end up out of there with a win. But this morning, Chris, how you doing, sir? How you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, doing good. Another week of college football and stuff like that. So, what's good, man? So, we gonna recap the NC State versus Louisville game, man. Give me your first impressions and thoughts about that game.
So, during the week, I like to go, I research games, I read a lot of data, stats, everything, and this game really stood out to me. Two, I want to say high power offenses, but not really at the same time. NC State's offense is not good. Louisville's offense was supposed to be explosive. So, I went and I looked at the spread for this game, and I saw it at like 2.5. And I'm like, I'm not taking it at 2.5. I'm gonna wait it out. I'm gonna wait it out for the week. And I saw it on Thursday. It started to move to 3, and I said, okay, 3.5. It hit 3.5. I bet it at 3.5. And this was a crazy game. The horrendous quarterback play throughout this game
Yeah, it was.
stood out to me. The misreads, and it comes down to coaching at the end of the day. Like, I feel like I could coach these guys better, to be honest. Like, the footwork was horrible. They were throwing in double coverage. The last interception that Brennan Armstrong threw, I don't know what happened to Brennan Armstrong. He went from one of the most respected quarterbacks in the country to down the drain like that. But it was a great game. Luckily, I won my bet. NC State covered the spread. They lost by 3, so I bet them at 3.5. But I think this game goes to show you why it's important to dive a little deeper and not just go with the first person that you hear about a game. So
Got you. Martin, how you doing this morning, man?
I'm good. I'm good again. How y'all fellas doing today?
We doing good. We doing good this morning. Give me your initial thoughts on NC State, Louisville beating NC State last night. What you saw good, and what you didn't like.
Well, I was a little bit. I didn't even know they was playing. I didn't know. I didn't know it was a bunch of games was on because I was so locked in on the Oregon State and Utah game. But when I turned to it, I was looking. NC State had the lead. And then I was like, okay, Louisville's on the seed. They might lose this one. But then again, when I went back and looked at it, and it was like 13-10. So I kind of thought Louisville would have been a little bit more aggressively on offense because I watched the first game they played against Georgia Tech where there was a high score game. And then the last couple of games, they had 56-0 over Murray State. Then they struggled against Indiana, which they won by 7. Then they overpowered Boston College team. I kind of felt like Louisville, for them to be 5-0,
yeah,
they should be a little bit more, I guess, better than their record indicate. And I don't see that. I think Louisville is going to stumble down the rest of their schedule somewhere down there between Notre Dame and by the time they get to Miami.
Yeah.
Pitt is not good either this year. So that's a game that could be a little struggle against them. Should NC State won the game? Yeah, they should have. They should have. I mean, for it to be that low scoring. But I don't think Louisville is as good as their record indicate. And NC State is not good this year at all. So
Got you. So, just like Chris was saying, indicating the quarterback play was horrendous. You had Jack Plummer, 21 of 35, 286 yards. You had him 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in this game. The running game, Jordan had 16 carries. That's a lot of carries, but only 32 yards. So the running game wasn't that effective last night. Either, but it was a ugly performance by both quarterbacks. Brandon Armstrong, as he said, was just absolutely horrendous. The only thing he had going was running the football on the ground yesterday. 17 carries, 61 yards. He is probably a dual threat quarterback for them. But he has 2 touchdowns, so he has 2 interceptions. So the quarterback play was pretty damn bad yesterday. So we switch over to the game that everybody pretty much was watching, which is you already know Utah versus Oregon State. Go ahead, Martin. Give me your initial reactions on this game and what you like about this game.
Man, to be honest with you, I didn't even expect Oregon State to play the way they play. And they, for all sense of purpose, they sneaky good.
Mm-hmm.
They sneaky good. And I felt like Utah should have lost a few weeks back against Texas Tech.
They should have lost against.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I kept saying this. I have said this when I seen that game, and I was like, I said, if Cam Rising don't play the rest of this year, there is no way Utah is going to advance higher. I mean, they still got Oregon on the schedule. I don't know if they play USC or Washington or any of them teams, but I could see Utah losing probably another game or two because Oregon State did everything they supposed to do to win the game. I would have to give DJ a lot of credit. DJ his play this year has been way better than what he was in Clemson. Don't know, I think that Oregon State now, do I give them a shot to win the Pac-12? No. I mean, because you still got Oregon and USC over there. But they are playing really good football. They 4-1 now. Utah lost their first game, which they should have lost 2. And I think Utah probably going to lose another game. But you could just see Utah just couldn't move the ball against them. They really couldn't move the ball. And any success they had, it was just looks like they either turn it over or they just couldn't even advance. But now that tuck push play that Oregon State used, I like that. That was real brilliance where they faked it and got a touchdown out of it. Trust me, I know the Philadelphia Eagles probably watching that and trying to implement that in their little scheme as well. But that was good. I think Oregon State just did what they needed to do because they're a tough team to play against. They got some real good, fast guys on their team that could get it out of space. And I like what I've seen from them. Is I'm surprised that Utah lost? No. Did I expect for them to lose? No, because everybody talks about how Utah defense is supposed to be so good. It didn't show last night. I mean, so for Utah, hey, if they don't get Cam Rising back, it's going to be probably bad. I don't know if he's going to play this year. I just don't really know when he's going to come back or play. I mean, he was supposed to come back 2 weeks ago, a week ago. So yeah. So the Utah looks like they're going to be in trouble if Cam Rising don't come back. And I don't know how effective he's going to be anyway when he does come back.
All right, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I love what Martin said about Cam Rising because that's actually what I was going to say too. Is it a legitimate thing to think that Cam Rising might take a redshirt year? I'm pretty sure he's only used 1 redshirt year. So, NCAA gives you 3. If I was him, I would use it. I mean, at this point, right? Like, why you can have a whole off season to prepare rather than being, kind of uneven or whatever. And then Oregon State, I love Oregon State. I think they have the most effective running game in the country, to be honest. The way they run the football, like DJ has played good, not great. Mm-hmm. DJ actually has a 57% completion percentage. So he's like doing the bare minimum. to keep him alive. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He has 140 quarterback rating, which is 5 points higher than he had when he was at Clemson. Like, I like DJ, but DJ is just too inconsistent, but he fits that system so well. Just to minimum to get by. And Oregon State and Utah, it's part of the reason why I think Colorado, which we'll probably get into, can make it in the Pac-12 playoffs.
Yeah.
Because of those teams. I feel like the Pac-12 is a bunch of great quarterbacks, but right now we're starting to see them separate themselves a little bit.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Durag DJ. I call that's his nickname for me. Durag DJ right there. Other than that, Utah offense struggles. Look like they struggle. Look like they fail to score points and not having Cam Rising on the field seems to affect. See, like they were only 2 for 13 on third downs and 1 of 4 on fourth down conversions. For total yards goes to the Oregon State with almost 400 total yards. Passing yards was 227 yards. Silas Bowden had a great game from Oregon State last night. That dude is going to be good. That dude's going to be nice when he hits the NFL. Pretty much. So you had Nate Jones, pretty much a game manager. Pretty much. I think that's their dude. If I'm not mistaken, that's the dude that can run the ball, right? Nate Jones. Pretty much, he was 8 of 23, one touchdown, 104 yards, 101 yards, and you also had Bryson Barnes he threw an interception. He threw for 5 for 8 last night. Now Durag DJ, like Chris was saying, didn't do all that great, but he did enough for them to win the game last night. Threw 1 interception, threw a touchdown, 204 yards. Yeah, Damian Hernandez, 16 carries, 65 yards in a tub. Silas Bowden contribute in the running game and in the passing game. He was also Oregon State best receiver last night as well. So Silas Bowden, y'all be looking out for that name in a draft process. That dude can be a sleeper and probably in the later rounds or something like that. So we go to CU. Like Chris was saying, we're gonna get to CU and we're gonna get to CU. Does CU belong back in the top 25 if they beat USC today? Do they belong back in the top 25? Or do y'all think they should be out of the top 25 after that debacle? I know it was an ass whooping last week that they took. It was to Oregon. You look at the team who they lost to. It was to Oregon, who everybody expected to be actually better than be better than them. But of course, if they beat USC, they're gonna find a way to get back in the top 25. But what do you guys think? Chris, I'm gonna start with you.
So, last week it was difficult for me to watch Deion go down like that. I'm a big Deion guy. I just ordered a poster of Deion from my room. So, like, I'm a big Deion fan. So, it was hard to watch Deion go down like that. But, it's just size. It's a size gap, that looked like the varsity team playing the JV team. You know what I mean? Like that was a huge size gap. So, Shedeur still played great. I think his completion percentage is still over 75, which is really impressive. Bo Nix played an amazing game, by the way. But one defining moment in that game to me was on 4th. It was third. What was it? It was third down and I want to say 15. And Oregon State had just got a 10-yard penalty. It was a holding call. And it was a 6-yard gain. Instead of accepting it, Deion declined it and decided to 4th and 4. And that's when they ran the fake punt. 40 yards. That's like coaching 1-on-1. You know what I mean? When they're backed up like that, you take the penalty. You let them go back and you force them in the end zone. That's a critical moment in that game. Colorado would have got the ball at midfield. They got the ball at halftime. Maybe they would have been able to do something. Jimmy Horn is their return man. He was a beast at South Florida, beast at Jackson State. Look what he can do now. So, I think there's a lot of questions when you look at that, and I think that I think Colorado could hang with USC today. I really do.
I think I got them hanging with it. I don't know about beating them, but I think they can make it a game. They can actually, I think this may be more of the better matchup than Oregon actually was for them. Go ahead, Martin.
I agree with everything what Chris said. And another thing I point out too is that right now in the college football, the highest grade quarterbacks are one, my guy Tyler Van Dyke from Miami, 94.2, Michael Penix, 94.1, Shador is third, 92.5. So he's still there, and Caleb Williams is 5. So, and Leonard Riley, Duke, and J.J. McCarthy, and then Penn State's quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that game being said, like Chris said, you got to take the penalty because that could be honestly that could have been the pivotal momentum changer for Colorado, because if Colorado was able to take that penalty, got it at the 50, and probably got a good return, probably around the 40, 35, and score and come back at half after half and got the ball and probably scored again, then anything in that game could have changed.
Yep.
Anything in that game could have changed, just like it did in Colorado State. And I think Deion regretted that. You could tell after the press conference, he knew some things should have changed. He should have been better. And that's coaching 101. You got to learn, because this level at the college level is all about momentums. Who's going to have that momentum? You allow Oregon to keep the momentum going with all these trickeries and all these crazy stuff going on, and you never got your feet solid on ground to get back in the game or put some scores on to make it look presentable.
Yeah.
Now, I said this. I said they was going to lose to Oregon, but I said they will beat USC at home. I'm sticking with that. I'm going with them to beat USC at home. I think because USC's defense is not as good, and the key point Chris said was the size of Oregon. And people don't realize that's still some of Mario Cristobal's team when he left a year ago. And so Oregon is big. They fast. Mario built that team from the defense and the offensive line. So you could see the size difference easily with Oregon. It wasn't surprising that Oregon was going to be able to overwhelm Colorado like that. Well, USC, now the thing about it is, you don't have Travis, and you might not have Shallow. But for what I have been hearing, that Deion has changed some stuff. I saw them on Undisputed yesterday. They say they got some things they have worked on and stuff like that. So I want to see that, because we all know this is going to probably be one of them must-watch games at 12 o'clock, record-breaking. I do got them. I picked them to win, but I think this is, like you said, Coach, this is a better matchup for them. This is going to be, being on all sense of purposes, this is going to be a quarterback duel today. It's going to be a quarterback showdown. And if Colorado and Shador get the upset, I think they're going to be back in the top 25. Whether they deserve to be back in the top 25 or not. But this signature win, because I think USC's number 9 in the country.
USC, they number 8.
Number 8 in the country.
Yeah.
You beat a number 18. Yeah, you would get somewhere. I don't want to jump them up to like 18 or nothing like that.
Oh, no.
No, I'll jump them up probably like 22.
21.
About 22, 21. If they jump them up way up there, that's going to be put so much pressure and expectation on them. And another thing that Chris alluded to, with Utah and Oregon State don't look so strong, that 9 wins that I predict Colorado to get looks really good right about now.
If they beat USC, they should be on pace for now. Yeah. They should be on pace. Damn near, if you get 9 wins or 10, you damn near in the New Year's Six Bowl. You damn near almost in that area. And for that timestamp, that will be we already know right now they're already better than what they were last year. But getting to a New Year's Six Bowl early, that's early on pace. And think about the recruiting, the transfer portal next year. Think about that. When he's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna get more of those players. Now you talking about them being a top tier team next year. if they do somehow beat USC and surprise everybody and make a New Year's Six bowl game this year, hey, you already on par early. You already on par early. But other than that, due to the fact that USC struggled versus a bad Arizona State football team, in my eyes, you can't tell me Colorado is not better than Arizona State. Do we all agree Colorado is better?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if they can put 28 on points on them and on SC today on SC, and Colorado can't stick with them. Colorado can't stick with SC. It may be a little bit of a problem, but other than that, I believe this matchup is better. And Oregon defense is sneaky good this year. They had everybody coming back. Everybody came back for Oregon this year. So they defense has been actually solid this year. USC is not even in the top 130 on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, their defense is actually really bad. But other than that, we don't make our final picks and predictions coming up. But we got to talk about a surprising guy from Washington State who beat Oregon State, Cam Ward. We're going to talk about him. Chris, why nobody is talking about Cam Ward? Why is he not getting that respect he deserves? This guy is a legit quarterback for Washington State, and Washington State is a good football team, man. So why was we not hearing about Cam Ward?
Well, it's the same reason why you didn't hear about Showdown Sanders last year down at the HBCU. People don't, these scouts and everyone, they don't study college football. I really do believe that sometimes. I think that you have to find diamonds in every corner. And Cam rising, and don't sit here, people trying to tell me, the level of competition. He plays at the same level of competition that Caleb Williams does, that Showdown Sanders does, and he's playing lights out. He deserves to be a first-round pick just based on the way he's playing. And I've been following him for a long time, since the days at Incarnate Word. I was a huge fan of Cam Ward when he was at Incarnate Word. I'm like so excited when he hit the transfer portal. I'm like, I wonder where he's gonna go. He had a couple of options. I really thought he was going to UCLA. I really, really did. But he kind of last minute, I guess, had a change of heart and wanted to head over to Washington State. Man, he's creating a culture there. They're back winning games. It's really, really great. And to see that program and what he's done, they have a receiver there, number 3. He's really dominant as well. So Cam Ward deserves to be in the Heisman conversation. He hasn't turned over the ball once. I have him right now number 3 on my Heisman chart. So, I think you're on mute.
Got you. Martin, go ahead.
Yeah, he reminds me of what Dorian Robinson was at UCLA last year. Nobody talked about him.
Yeah.
The dude, he has talent. And Chris made a great point. Some of these people do not watch college football. They just watch certain teams and then they wait till the draft to start scouting these guys. I watch college football year round, no matter what team is on TV. Sometimes I catch some of these lower level schools because it's the matchups. I want to see what's there, especially when I'm looking at for drafting, draft purposes in NFL. Cam, he has not thrown an interception. His QBR is 86.7. He's ranked, that's 8th in the nation. He's just under 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. He has a matchup against UCLA today, which I expect Washington State to win that. If I was still on the West Coast right now, when I used to live over there, him and Michael Penix, I've been rooting for them guys. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys, even though the Pac-12 is loaded with quarterbacks, but he should be in a conversation with the Shedeur Sanders, with Michael Penix, with Caleb Williams. So I think he's going to be special. And if he wins this game today, he should be either 1A or number 2 on that Heisman list right there with Caleb Williams.
Yeah. And not to mention, he did carve up a very good Oregon State team last week. He did score what it was, 35 and 20. I think it was around 35 and 28 against a very good Oregon State defense. So you got to give Cam Ward credit on that one. So is Alabama on the road? Alabama going on the road this week and will be playing Mississippi State. How do you think they will fare against Mississippi State? A tough road matchup, with Rogers as the quarterback over there. How do you think Bama will fare against Mississippi State?
I wanted Alabama to lose last week, but Lane Kiffin just cannot beat Alabama. Even Alabama, Alabama is like not really good this year. And can Mississippi State pull out the upset? Yeah, but would they? I don't think so. I just think Alabama just plays enough to get by.
Yeah.
And teams really don't know how to take advantage of that to beat them. Lane Kiffin had the perfect opportunity last week to really beat Alabama. And you struggled through the whole game, and Alabama beat you. So I think Alabama will win this. I think it's going to be close. Like I said, I think they're going to get by. But do I see them doing anything further on through the season, especially when it comes to the SEC championship game? I don't think they'll beat LSU. I think LSU will beat them, but Alabama's just going to win enough. They're going to ride the quarterback that they put back in there now. They're going to ride him out because you don't want to continue to switch in and out quarterbacks and throw off any chemistry or continuity that you might already have developed. So, yeah, Alabama. I think Alabama will win this one. I don't think. Texas ain't. Not Texas ain't, but Alabama. I don't know. I'm not really thrilled with them. I think they just don't have enough. I don't know. For some reason, I think them and Clemson are in the same boat right now, not really taking advantage of the transfer portal like they should, and trying to secure some of them guys to stay relevant. And you're starting to see a shift in a lot of college teams dealing with around them two programs right now.
Yep. I'm tired. I'm sick of this goddamn Lane Kiffin crap and this Ole Miss crap. They overrated, man. They just can't get it done, man. They just good a talent they have. They have one of the top running backs in the country. They always have great receiving depth, and they still cannot find a way to win big games. They still cannot find a way to get. I'm tired of that. I'm just about tired of that crap. Hearing that crap, they got to be overrated. But go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail. I was watching that game and I just shut it off.
Yeah,
the coaching was so bad. They were near the goal line with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, and they were running the ball and they were letting the clock drain out when they had 3 timeouts and could have went down and scored. They completed a nice, flank route pass, with a 4th and 23, and Jackson Dart put it right over, and it was a 40-yard gain. And they should have went hurry up at that point, and they didn't. So they kind of let the clock drain out, and it just showed me that Lane just doesn't know how to coach this team properly. Personally, I think he's going to be the next head coach of Alabama sooner rather than later, when Nick Saban retired. So maybe he's just banking on that, but who knows? But yeah, I think I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah, I'm about sick of that. I'm not sick of that Lane Kiffin. I've been hearing all about how good this man can be, and how talented the goddamn Ole Miss team is, which is they are talented, but they really will not. They will be one of those, just like those one of those 8-9 win teams to get into a probably good bowl game, and that will all they will be getting into. They don't be championship contenders. So other than that, we switched undefeated. Which undefeated teams that people is not talking about? Undefeated team people is not talking about that much. Chris, I'm gonna start with you.
Which undefeated teams?
That people are not talking about.
Yeah, Florida State, I think we won. I think Oregon State. Oregon is one. Undefeated. Oh, Missouri. Missouri definitely won. Missouri's having a great season with Brady Cook. Brady Cook is a baller. So I'm excited to see what Missouri does this year. I'm hoping they go, 7-4 or 8-4, 9-3. But I think those are the main ones. One I'll give you one team that's undefeated that people are talking way too much about is Georgia. Georgia,
yeah. They've been struggling. Yeah,
they're overrated as hell. They should be they shouldn't be number one. They're not the number one team in the country. Oregon is a better team than Georgia is right now. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Martin.
I think Missouri is one. Kansas also. Nobody's really talking about them. I mean, surprisingly, Duke. I mean, they 4-0. I mean, we can't talk about Utah because they lost now, so that's out the window with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Washington need to get a lot more love than they because all you hear is Michigan, Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, Florida State. I mean, Penn State also. So there's a lot of slew. Even a 4-0 Miami, nobody's really talking about it. So it's always the top tier teams, the 1 or 2 or 3 in the top 25 that they're talking about. Like Georgia should have lost to South Carolina. South Carolina had a golden opportunity to put that. South Carolina won that game and finish out. They could have easily represented that side. You got to take. I keep saying this. You got to take the opportunities when they present it to you, because if you don't take the opportunities when these teams show vulnerability, it's going to make it even hard in the next coming year to really beat them when they really get back at full strength. So when the opportunity is there, you got to take it, man. But yeah, doing just a few of my 4 undefeated teams, I think they should be talking about a little bit more. They just don't. But we'll see in the next couple of weeks for some of these teams stay undefeated. Like especially you got North Carolina. I mean, North Carolina undefeated, but are they really that good of an undefeated team too?
Yep. I'm surprised about this one. Kentucky, they undefeated. They 4. Kentucky is 4-0. With Will Levis going to the NFL. They're 4-0 right now. They're playing some good ball. They played Florida today, that's a good chance that they probably won't be 4-0 after this game. It's a very good chance on that one. But other than that, they're 4-0 as well. So we switched to
and they're not ranked either.
They're not ranked. No, they're not ranked. They're 4. They're actually 4-0. So we got USC. Everybody know their defense is bad. Their defense is, I don't believe they're top 133 in defense. So do you think that defense will stop them from making any run in the college football playoff or getting there? Will they get to the college football playoff before this defense self-destruct, or will it be too late? Will it be too late? Will somebody catch them and it be too late? Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the whole situation is really complicated, as a whole. I'm trying to, I don't know. What would you say about it? Like, if you had to look at this team and evaluate them, what do you think as a whole?
I just don't think they're a very good defense. And I don't know if Lincoln Riley teams never have a great defense. I don't know if it's the recruiting part of it. They don't recruit defensive players. I just think they try to outscore people and expect their defense to hold up, which is not holding up. I just don't think that team is a very good defensive team. I know you got some very good players on the squad, but of course, I don't think the players is good enough on defense. And I don't think, to me, it gives me a sense that Lincoln Riley, he just want to go out there and outscore people. And against some games, when you have to slow it down against a good defense, it gives them a lot of trouble. I just don't think he's a very good defensive-oriented guy. Just don't think they're very good enough on defense. It's a possibility. I think it may be a little bit too late, and the team will catch them probably slipping, depending on who they play. I don't know if they play Oregon State again this year. I don't know if they play Utah. Go ahead.
Yeah, they play Washington, Oregon, and UCLA, but that's not hard. Notre Dame. I feel like Notre Dame's a big game for them.
Okay. If Notre Dame can slow, I think Notre Dame is a very good I think Oregon can give them a shot. I give Oregon a shot. They have an actual good defense this year. Oregon actually have not a bad defense, so I give Oregon a shot to beat them. But other than that, Martin, go ahead.
if you look at Lincoln Riley history over there in the Big 12, same thing.
Yep.
No defense. All scoring. Look what Baylor done to them. Look what Oklahoma State has done to them. I mean, look at Kansas State. You can look at all them teams that Lincoln Riley Oklahoma team played against them. They never have defense. They have just a little, but teams are able to put points on them. And that's why I said this game with Colorado is very dangerous, because Colorado can put points up when the opportunity presents it. Now, especially if you've got a team that don't really have a defense, and Shador gonna have time to maneuver and find his open receivers, it's gonna be a track meet. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think Lincoln Riley he gets it, because going into the Big Ten next year, you can't just sit there and just try to think you're gonna outscore Ohio State or Michigan or Iowa or Wisconsin or Penn State in the Big Ten. It's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to find some defense. You're gonna have to find a way to build a defensive program, because guess what? You ain't gonna have a Caleb Williams next year. You know what I'm saying? So I think Lincoln Riley, all sense of purpose, he's probably a good offensive coordinator, a good offensive guy, but defensively, his teams has always suffered and they never make it to the dance. And I don't think USC is going to make it this year. I think they're going to get dropped by Oregon. I think they're going to get dropped by Notre Dame. I think Washington could get them too. I believe Washington is good enough to get them. So there's are some challenging games that's going to be coming up with them, and starting today.
Got you. So we go to the very next topic. We got the Army. How about the Army, man? The Army is the Army. Your thoughts, Chris, on the Army is going to the ACC. Your thoughts on that?
Are they going to the ACC or the AAC?
ACC. It says ACC. I don't know if it's the AC.
Man, yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. That's crazy. I mean, they might get blown up by 50. I mean,
damn.
Honestly, I mean, imagine them playing Florida State, like the running their triple option they run, like. Probably more for the financial aspect. I see a lot of these, which I was talking to someone, and this is a point that I've been wanting to bring up, but, with BYU moving to the Big 12, right? Look at the opportunity it opens up for the school for recruiting. Now, if I'm a recruit, I can look at BYU and be like, why wouldn't I want to go to Utah? The great mountains, the great view. Yeah. And, I mean, the culture, the religion and everything is something in itself. But, depending on how you align with that, I mean, and now I'm playing a Power 5 conference. Obviously, I would want to go, if that's an option on the table. So I think Army's trying to do that. Maybe it's going to help recruiting a little more, like you can play, because Army had legit ball players, by the way. There are some legit players on Army football. So, it's an interesting move for sure, but it's a lot of.
The AAC. The AAC.
Oh, the AAC. Okay. AAC, yeah. All right. So the AAC. Let's see.
Formerly the Big East.
The AAC. So, all right, here we go. So right now you have Memphis, Tulsa, South Florida. Well, South Florida is moving. I mean, a lot of these teams are moving to different conferences. I believe Rice is moving. But Army could beat Florida Atlantic. Army could beat North Texas. Army could beat, obviously Navy, Temple. So there are teams they could beat in the AAC. So it's kind of changes it a little bit, but I think it's good they're finally joining conference. That's one thing I'll say.
Yep. Martin, go ahead.
Yeah, when you was talking, I went back and look at it. It is the AAC because since SMU is moving to the ACC, they want to replace them, and then you got Navy over there already. So that's going to be another good look for them to build that military brand in that conference. You know what I'm saying? So, and you still got Rice, you got East Carolina over there, UAB, Tulane. So I mean, they fit pretty well in that market over there. South Florida still there, Boise, and all of them. So it's still good for them. It's a good look for them. They do got a good team. They always play Notre Dame pretty tough every year, except for this year. For financial stability, it works out. TV marketed for that division. It helps the AAC also because they don't lost so many teams and they trying to galvanize to bring more teams back in to keep they TV contract flowing also. And I think by having Army and having Navy and Army in there together is going to help them a little bit. I would like to see them go and grab Air Force. You know what I'm saying? Bring Air Force over. They have just a whole football military branch in that conference.
Yep, got you. So we go to another team, another squad right here. So we talking about the Georgia Bulldogs, which is Chris alluded to earlier. Carson Beck. How will Carson Beck do against this Auburn defense? Go ahead, Chris. I'm gonna let you answer.
Yeah, so I mean, I have my own personal thing with Carson Beck. I mean, I've met Carson before. He's a very questionable individual, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I've always had character concerns for him. He acts a certain way. I met him once, and he acts a certain way, and I just feel like he's not all that's advertised. He does have some character issues. I mean, you look at his social medias. So I'm not a Carson Beck fan at all.
Yeah.
But I personally hope he loses every game he plays in because I think he needs
Damn.
But besides that, right, I think that Carson is going to have a really interesting game against Auburn. Auburn's defensive line is actually really, really good.
Yeah.
If you look at their numbers and where they rank, the data speaks to itself. I think they're really, really good. I think they can play ball. But at the end of the day, it depends on who Auburn starts at quarterback. Are they going to go with Robbie Ashford or are they going to go with Peyton Thorne? I think Peyton Thorne's time is kind of up for Auburn, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's holding this team back. I don't know if they have – the only other option they had on this team was a guy named Demario Davis, and he was a quarterback. He was supposed to be next up for Auburn. He actually transferred. Now he played at Alabama State. So losing him was huge. But, no, I just feel like it's going to be – I'm staying away from this game betting-wise. I don't trust this game at all. But I think Georgia will win this game. But my final score prediction would be 30-14 Georgia.
All right.
Yeah, I think, this is Auburn's second game this year or third game? Or I think Georgia will still win the game. I mean, I think it'll be close in the beginning. It's one of those games that potentially could be another test for Georgia. They only posted 17 points up, and then it's like they, second half they kind of turn it on. I really wish South Carolina had beat them. I really, really did. I just wish that had happened. And to see how well, Georgia will respond. I think because after that they got Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Florida, Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech.
Yep.
I mean, do we see a loss coming down somewhere down there? I don't know. I think Georgia is not as strong as they was last year, but they still the defending champions, and how they win. Quarterback is different. You know what I'm saying? Stetson Bennett there, but they still got some of the same weapons. They still got Brock Browse, the tight end there that he can lean on. So that's a security blanket for him. Because I think if he didn't do that, I think he would really struggle majorly. So with that being said, yeah, Georgia will win.
Gotcha.
I mean, I definitely ain't about to bet on it though.
So as of right now, giving you guys Start with you, Martin. Give me you guys top 4 as of right now coming into today.
Top 4? Oh
Yeah.
man, that's gonna be kind of tough because I mean, I still, like I said, Georgia's defending champions, man. So right now, they number 1. Let me look at the rankings real quick. Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2. I mean, if I wanted to pick Ohio State, Florida State, and Texas out of them 3 to be number 3, I have to go with Florida State until they get down into their schedule.
Yeah.
I will pick Washington over Penn State and USC to be that 4th team.
Okay.
So
go ahead, Chris.
I'm gonna give you mine. It's gonna be kind of surprising, but my number 1 team in the country is USC. I just look at the way they played, and people will be like, "Oh, what about that game against Arizona State?" I think that was a tough game. They squeaked out on the road. The college football committee kind of undervalues away wins, but number 1 USC, number 2 Georgia, number 3 Texas, number 4 Oregon, and number 5 Florida State.
I like that. I like that a lot, to be honest with you.
So since my goddamn sleeper team lost last night to goddamn Oregon State, because again they did lose to a tough Oregon State team. So the new team goes in. I didn't even have a top 4. I just had a top 3 because I don't actually overall trust USC overall. But I got for right now, I do have Georgia, Michigan. You got Georgia and Michigan. You got Ohio State. You got Ohio State, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw another. I think Ohio State and what you call about the meat, but I'm going to throw. I'm going to go ahead and throw Florida State in now for right now, but because I think that game between Ohio State and Penn State, that's going to determine a lot of what Penn State is going to kind of be. I think Penn State is a football team. I like that running back that they got, man. That running back is Singleton. It's really something special, man. It's really something good for them. That quarterback has been playing well lately, so that's my top 4 at the moment. When it comes to the middle of the season, it's gonna change. I just want to see how can USC defense hold up. Can they defense actually hold up and stop somebody for once in the generation? Can they defense stop someone? So we go to the main theme, the picks and predictions. Martin, you the defending champ. You won last week by 1.
How did I manage that?
I don't know. You managed it, sir, but you did do it. So other than that, so we go to the picks and predictions. So here we go. So we got the first game of the day, the 11 o'clock games, early game. So we got Penn State going into Northwestern. Chris, who you go rolling with, Chris?
Yeah, Northwestern's quarterback Ben Bryant, great game last week. He threw for 396 yards and 4 touchdowns in their win over Minnesota. It was an insane game. They were down 31-10 with 10 minutes left, and they came back and won. But, Penn State's a great team. I love Drew Allen. I think he's a really good quarterback. The spread is 24.5. 26 actually moved up this morning. But I would stay away from the spread as a whole. Spreads are dangerous, especially for, powerhouse team. But my favorite pick in this game would just be Penn State straight money line. I think Penn State's going to win the game.
Martin, who you got?
Yeah, I think Penn State's going to win. This is a 26.5 spread. I think. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go that far, but I think Penn State's going to win the game. Pretty easily. They're going to stay on that pace until they meet Ohio State. Down the line. So yeah, but I mean. The quarterback, Arler, he's not even thrown 1,000 yards yet this season, so he'll probably get that in this game, 8 touchdowns. So yeah, I'll go with Penn State.
All right, so we got the 11 o'clock game that everybody's gonna watch. SC versus CU. Martin, go ahead.
Oh, definitely this game. We just talked about it throughout the show. I think this game is going to be tight. I mean, I think it's not going to be tight, but I think it's going to be closer than people really give it credit. Everybody's expecting USC to come in there and blow them out like Oregon did last week. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a quarterback shootout, which I'm going to give Colorado the edge.
Okay.
I think that 22, it was 21, now it's at 22.
Yeah.
I think that 22-point advantage is not going to even. I think Colorado's going to cover the spread. I really expect them to thrill out of this game. I would love to see this go into overtime. That's just how exciting this game. A packed house. They at home. They have played well at home. You know, the last time they played a thrilling home game against Colorado State for all sense of purposes. So my prediction, I'm going with Colorado.
All right. Chris?
I want to pick Colorado. I just can't. I mean, I really hope they win. It's too tight of a game for me to pick. I'm gonna go Colorado to cover the spread though. I think 20.5 is straight up disrespectful in their home field. I mean, Dion's gonna have that crowd ready to go. Shadur's gonna be ready. They're all gonna be locked in. So I got USC winning this game, but it's gonna be like really close. Probably like I'm gonna go with a 40-34 USC win.
Yeah, I'm with Chris. I got USC winning this game. I just can't pick Colorado as of right now. But would I love for them to beat USC? Yes, I would love for them to beat USC just to show how bad that actual defense will be. And you can't trust that defense or that team at all to even make it anywhere. But I just gotta go USC. But what I love, man, go ahead.
So this might be the first game that we get to see a running game from Colorado too.
Yeah. Facts. I agree with you on that one. All right, so we got Florida versus Kentucky. Chris, we'll go with you.
Yeah, this is my biggest bet of the day. You know, I put $40 on this game. I'm so confident in Kentucky. I think they have a great defense. Okay. I think Evan Leary has yet to hit his stride. He's going to hit it today against Florida at home.
All right, so you got Kentucky, right?
Yes.
Got you. All right, go ahead, Martin.
Yeah, this is a 1-point game. They got Kentucky favorite. They playing in Kentucky, so that's a dangerous game going into Kentucky. So I'm going with the home team, Kentucky, on this one.
All right,
because I definitely don't like Florida State. So I'm a Miami fan, so I have to, I can't get them no love.
Right. I'm going. I'll tell you, I'm going. We all agree. We all in agreement on that. Got Kentucky winning this football game. Don't trust Joe. Don't. I like Kentucky more better. They've been playing well. Their defense actually has been very good. Not a big fan of the Florida offense. Offensive side of the ball, not a big fan of how they play on the offense. Their defense is okay, but not a big fan of their offensive side of the ball. All right, Martin, we start this one with you. Auburn, Georgia going to Auburn and facing Auburn. Who you picking in this game?
We talked about this. Auburn's got a pretty good defensive line. I think that's going to help slow some of Georgia, what they want to do running the ball wise. But like I said, Brock Bowers is the key. He's just a matchup problem. I mean, if Auburn can find some way to neutralize him and where they could make the quarterback indecisive with the ball and get to him, then Auburn could stay in the game. But eventually, I think, how this second half, late third, fourth quarter come down to, Georgia always find a way to win.
Got you. So, rolling with Georgia. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, same thing as Martin said. I really have nothing more to add. I mean, you have to, there's one saying I go by, bet smarter, not harder. So if you're going to bet on a game, you have to really feel confident about it. I'm staying far away from this game.
Got you. So we all picking Georgia to win this football game. All right, so we got number 2, Michigan going to Nebraska. Chris, go ahead.
The spread is it's an interesting spread. I believe it's 17.5.
18 now.
It's 18? Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nebraska has good defense. They have a really good defense. People sleep on Nebraska's defense, but I think their defense can hold. They're starting a new quarterback this week, Heinrich Harburg. He's from Nebraska. He's 6'5", 230 pounds. I believe in him. He took care of the ball well in his first start. He didn't turn it over. They can keep the game close enough to where they will squeak out with a victory. I feel like Michigan will win this game, but it'll be 21-18 Michigan.
Gotcha. All right, Martin, go ahead.
I think Michigan gonna. I just think Michigan gonna be able to. They're gonna be able to wear them down. Eventually throughout the game, Michigan is a team that picks and chooses spots. They don't come out and hit you in the mouth like they want to. They kind of like go methodically through the game, and then once they get that rhythm, they start hitting their spots. I do think that Michigan is going to win more by 18, though. I don't think it's going to be as tight and close. I think Michigan will win probably about a little bit more over that.
Okay. Another big game this week. I got this game as an upset alert. And yes, I am hard on my Texas Longhorns. Only time I did pick against them was Alabama. And this week, go ahead. Mark, Chris, who you got? Kansas or Texas?
Texas all the way, but I think Kansas is a lot better team than Vegas is giving them credit for.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I definitely agree. I think they sleeping on that Kansas team. I think that boy Daniels is nice. That quarterback Daniels is really legit. Go ahead, Martin.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be close. I think Kansas is going to give Texas all they can handle. It's going to take some Texas heroics late in the game to really seal this victory. But I'm going with Texas. But don't be surprised how Kansas played them throughout this game.
Yep. So I'm going. You know what? I'm going to take Kansas. I'm going to go with the upset over Kansas. This is going to be one of these wake up games. Texas wake up game. I'm hard on my team. I ain't gonna lie to you, but every time I watch this goddamn team play, and you think they figure it out, they don't figure it out. It's always a game they lose. Like last year, they lost that damn Texas Tech game after they had that great. They lost that Texas Tech game after blowing out Oklahoma 50-0. They come back, lose that type of game. Those are the type of games that Texas will lose. So I'm gonna pick Kansas in a close game, but I wouldn't be surprised we blow them out. I wouldn't be surprised.
I agree with you with that because Texas do have games like that where they be having a great game. They'll beat Baylor, then come back and lose to K-State. You be like, what is going on with them? So I definitely agree with you on that though.
Got you. So we got Mizzou going to Vanderbilt. Martin, go ahead.
Missouri. I'm going with Mizzou all day.
Okay.
I ain't gonna do no breakdown on that.
I feel you. Go ahead, Chris. Who you got?
What's the game again?
Missouri versus Vanderbilt.
Oh, Missouri all the way. Yeah, they just wanted to be quarterback, but no, Missouri 100%.
All right, we all got Mizzou right here. So the very next game we got number 13 LSU going into number 20 Ole Miss. Martin, who you picking?
I'm going with LSU. I don't have no faith in Lane Kiffin. I used to be high on Lane Kiffin back in the day. I even wanted him to come to Miami, but after I see how he did USC, I'm all out on that. LSU.
Go ahead, Chris.
LSU is a great women's basketball team. LSU is a great basketball team, and they have a great football team. LSU is the hub of college sports right now. So LSU all the way. Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, they're gonna get the job done today.
Yeah, it's a clean sweep. I'm tired of that goddamn Kool-Aid. I'm tired of that crap. Ready to calm that crap down.
Yeah.
So we got number 9 Oregon going to Stanford. Chris, who you picking in this game?
Oh, Oregon all the way. I think.
All right, got you.
Yeah, Oregon.
Yeah, this game may be bad when Chris picked that one with no hesitation. Go ahead, Martin. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Oregon. Stanford, I mean, they 1-3, man. I don't even know how the hell they won one game. But at the same time, Oregon keeps rolling, man.
Gotcha. So Iowa State going into Norman, Oklahoma, and playing the Oklahoma Sooners. Martin, go ahead. Who you got?
Iowa State usually be one of them teams that show some promise, but I think Brett Venables starting to figure it out now with the defense in Oklahoma. I think they have really. I think he learned his lesson from last year. He's starting to put this team together the way it's supposed to be. Now it's gonna be interesting when they play in the Red River Shootout soon. So that's gonna be a test. But Oklahoma rolls in this game easily.
Okay. So Martin got OU. Go ahead, Chris.
OU.
All right. So all three of us got OU. All right, so now we got number 11 Notre Dame going to number 17 Duke. Chris, go ahead.
Duke. I love Duke so much. I love the defense. I love Riley Leonard. I love the running game. I know you got your boy over there at Notre Dame, Jalen Greyhound. But
that's my dude. Yeah.
Today, Jalen Greyhound comes to an end.
Yeah, no, I feel it's gonna be games like that. He does struggle. It's gonna be like that. I'm just a big fan of him. He got 3 more years. I'm just a big fan of him. I actually watched him actually play personally. That dude nice. Him and Cade Cutton, like I said, was on the same high school team.
They were dominant in high school.
Yeah, they were amazing. Go ahead, Martin. Who you got?
This is a must-win game for Notre Dame after blowing that game last week. After blowing,
they blew. They go do that every year. They do that to y'all every single season.
All they had to do is win, and I would have won my $100 parlay. I ain't picking their ass this week. I'm picking the upset right now. And you know why? Because Duke play tough. And this is probably one team that's on Miami's schedule that I do worry about coming down to the later end. I think Duke gets it done. I think they beat them. It's 5.5. I think they cover that. I get them I say a 3-point win. I ain't picking Notre Dame this one. They messed me up last week.
I said get off that motherfucking Notre Dame hype. Quick, fast, and hurry. They have a game like that every single season. When you think they got it figured out, they don't. It's another team that don't got it. Never got it figured. Got to figure it out. This team, yeah, I heard up and picked Duke. I'm off that Notre Dame. They did it for so long. Hey, nah, I can't do it. So go ahead. We got South Carolina going into Knoxville, Tennessee, and playing the Tennessee Vols. Chris, who you got?
Give me my boy Spencer Rattler all day,
man. Okay, I like it, Chris. All right.
I think Lions plus 400, I think right now, plus 450. I'm going all in on South Carolina. I think Spencer Rattler and Shane Beamer get the job done today.
All right. Go ahead, Mark.
Man, depends on what Spencer Rattler shows up.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, they're giving Tennessee 12.5. They crazy. South Carolina is way better than people giving them credit for.
Yeah,
South Carolina will upset them Vols.
Gotcha. I like that. We all on the same page on that one. I like that. That South Carolina is a really good football team, man. They're a really good football. They're a solid football team. That's a really good football team. And plus, I'm not a big fan of Joe Milton. I'm not actually a big fan of Mr. Joe Milton. So we got Bama going into Mississippi. They will be at Mississippi State later tonight. Go ahead, Martin. Who you picking in this game?
As much as I want Alabama to lose, it just ain't gonna happen this week.
Gotcha.
I think they got them under the 14 point. I think it's gonna be closer. The win margin is gonna be closer than 14 points. So I go with Alabama in this game.
All right, Chris, what you got?
Yeah, Bama. Mississippi State and Will Rogers. I don't know which one Will Rogers is going to show up today, which Mississippi State offense is going to. Because, man, I bet my whole bankroll on them covering LSU. When I look at it and I'm down $300, man, I mean, I'm not ever betting on Mississippi State.
They sold your money, huh, Chris? They sold your money on that one, So all right. So we got Washington going to Arizona. Chris, who you picking?
Oh, Penix and Washington on the way. I want to see what the over is too. I'm interested to take a look at the over for this game. I mean, I think Penix, any game that Penix is playing, it's an over no matter what. I feel like.
Got you. All right, go ahead, Martin.
Oh yeah, it's Washington all day. Penix, you know what I'm saying? I would love to see him in DC under that Eric Bieniemy scheme. Ooh, I would love to see what he could do. I've been watching him, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm because honestly, I wanted us to draft Dorian too, just to have him there. But I mean, Arizona 3-1. But Washington's gonna be too much for them. Too much.
Gotcha. So last game of the night, pretty much, we got 0-4 Nevada going up against a team that just hit the top 25 because of Colorado lost as bad as they did. Fresno State 4-0 at home tonight. Martin, who you picking?
I'm got them Bulldogs from Fresno, baby. Right. I don't know. This was one team actually from the West Coast that throughout the years, I mean, way back in the years, that has always been really decent, a really good team. I mean, and they are a exciting team to watch also. So I like Fresno State in this one.
Martin? I mean, Chris.
Yeah, before I get into this game, apparently Shiloh Sanders will not be playing this game. So in Colorado, he's been ruled out for the game.
All right, got you.
But for this big game, Fresno State, man. Mikey Keene, man. Don't sleep on Mikey Keene. He's a dog. So Fresno State all the way.
All right, got you. So that's ends the our picks and prediction. I got them kept up throughout the games going down the world. So at the end of the day, appreciate everybody for coming through the channel today, coming through the chat. We got the 11 o'clock game started. We know everybody's going to be focused on that big game, which is USC versus the CU Buffs. Mm-hmm. So, like I said again, we'll be chopping up throughout the chat and stuff and be watching the games and stuff. So Martin, tell the people they can follow you at.
You can always see me here Saturday mornings with Chris and Coach Dante with the Saturday morning college football showdown. We better than the big noon kickoff. You know what I'm saying? We better than game day. You know what I'm saying? And also you can find me on YouTube, Livewire Sports Media. You can also find me on Mondays. Watch the Commanders, the Aftermath. Tuesdays, Miami Hurricanes, Kings on the Daily. Throughout the week, you can always find me on NFC. Tonight, I will be on the NFC Beast on Cool's channel, representing my team. And then I'm on Twitter, also on Instagram. But hey, you can hit me on Facebook, inbox me if you want to link up, do a show, whatever. I'm always available.
Yep, got you. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, same here. I mean, you can find me on Facebook under my name, Chris Bias. My main channel, YouTube. I'm on the Shady Sports YouTube, so you can probably catch me there every Tuesday for sure for the NFL show. Me and my boy Dante and Martin are starting a basketball show here soon, so that could be.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, so that's gonna be awesome in a month and a half. But those are my main platforms. Twitter, I tweet every once in a while, and then I'm gonna start up my Twitch here for Madden. So for sure.
Got you. So as for Coach Dante, as my boy Chris, as my boy Martin, y'all enjoy your college football Saturday, man. Peace, love, blessings, man. Y'all stay out of trouble, man. And we will definitely see you guys next coming week, man. Shout out to y'all. Y'all have a good college game day today.